Imagine this, you're at a high school reunion, and as you walk in, you're bracing yourself for the usual small talk. But then, there they are. That one person who looks exactly the same as they did 20 years ago, maybe even better. And suddenly, you're standing there trying to remember if they had some secret skincare routine back in the day that you missed out on. But here's the thing. It's almost never just about creams, serums, or even genetics. Science tells us there are hidden factors at play, deeply ingrained habits that shape not just how we look, but how we feel. Let's start with the obvious truth. We wear our lives on our faces. Stress, joy, connection, loneliness, purpose, they all show up whether we realize it or not. And the most surprising part? Some of the people who look younger than their age aren't necessarily the ones with the best genes. They're the ones who've learned how to live in a way that preserves their energy, their presence, and their light. So what are these hidden reasons? First, they manage stress differently by reframing it. Stress isn't the enemy, it's how we hold it that makes the difference. And the people who seem to age more slowly, they don't live stress-free lives. They lose loved ones. They go through breakups. They face the same challenges the rest of us do. But here's what sets them apart. They don't let stress become their permanent state. Research shows that chronic stress accelerates aging at a cellular level. It wears down the protective caps on our DNA, those telomeres that act like tiny bumpers on the ends of chromosomes. When they shorten, our cells can't regenerate as easily. But here's the twist. Not all stress is harmful. Acute stress, like the kind you feel when you're working towards something meaningful, can actually strengthen your body's stress response or system. It's the kind of stress that says, this is hard, but I'm capable. And that belief alone changes how your body processes pressure. The difference isn't in whether stressful things happen, it's in how you interpret them. People who reframe stress, who see a tough situation as something they can handle, don't experience the same biological damage as those who feel trapped by it. And that mindset shift, it's not magic, it's a choice. I've seen it in the people who age well. They aren't avoiding life's pressures, they're meeting them with curiosity instead of fear. When something hard comes their way, they ask themselves, what can this teach me? Instead of, why is this happening to me? That's a powerful distinction. One keeps you stuck, the other moves you forward. The truth is, we can't escape stress, but we can decide whether it hardens us or makes us stronger. And the people who seem to hold on to their light, they've learned to carry stress without letting it carry them. Second, they nurture meaningful face-to-face connections. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. We are wired for connection. It's not a soft, sentimental idea. It's biology. And the people who seem to age more slowly, they aren't necessarily the ones with the perfect diet or the best skincare routine. More often, they're the ones who invest in real, meaningful relationships. Here's why that matters. Loneliness isn't just painful, it's physically damaging. Research shows that feeling chronically disconnected is as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It weakens the immune system, increases inflammation, and accelerates the aging process. But people who feel deeply connected, who have those I've got you no matter what relationships, experience the opposite effect. Their bodies release oxytocin, a hormone that not only soothes stress, but also promotes cellular repair. It's like a built-in healing mechanism, and it's activated through human connection. But it's not about being the most popular person in the room. You can have hundreds of acquaintances and still feel completely alone. What really matters is having a few relationships where you feel seen, heard, and valued. People who look and feel younger prioritize these connections. They make time for conversations that go beyond small talk. They lean in when life gets messy, and they're not afraid to let others see them, really see them, even when they're struggling. And here's the thing. There's no shortcut to this. Deep connection takes work. It requires vulnerability. It means being willing to say, I need you, or I'm struggling, even when it feels uncomfortable. But the people who age well know it's worth it. Because when you have people who truly see you, that sense of belonging isn't just comforting, it's life-giving. And it shows up in every part of how you move through the world. Third, they prioritize play and joy, not just productivity. Somewhere along the way, a lot of us bought into the belief that play is a luxury, something we'll get to once the serious work is done. But here's the truth. The people who seem to age more slowly, they don't wait until everything is perfect to experience joy. They build it into their lives now. And it's not just about having fun. It's about how play affects the body and mind at a fundamental level. Play isn't frivolous, it's restorative. When you engage in activities that bring you joy, whether it's dancing in your living room, gardening, or laughing until your stomach hurts, your body responds in powerful ways. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that breaks down collagen, accelerates inflammation, and speeds up aging. Chronic stress puts your nervous system on high alert, but joyful moments act like a reset button, allowing your body to return to a state of calm and repair. And it's not just physical. Play keeps your mind flexible. People who prioritize joy tend to stay curious, and curiosity is linked to better cognitive function and emotional resilience. When life gets hard, and it always does, those who make room for lightness are better equipped to handle the heavy stuff. It's not because they avoid reality, it's because play gives them the emotional space to breathe. What's interesting is that many of the people who seem to hold on to their youthfulness aren't chasing it. They're just living in a way that keeps their spirits light. They don't view joy as something extra, they treat it as essential, and you can feel it when you're around them. There's a warmth and energy, a sense that life, no matter how complicated, is still worth savoring. And that shows up in everything from their laughter lines to the way they walk through the world. Fourth, they get intentional about rest without guilt. There's this unspoken message in our culture that rest is something you earn, that you have to push yourself to exhaustion before you deserve a break. But the people who seem to age more slowly, they reject that narrative. They understand that rest isn't a reward, it's a requirement. And they treat it as something non-negotiable. Here's what the research tells us. Chronic sleep deprivation accelerates aging at a cellular level. When you're not getting enough rest, your body produces more cortisol. And that constant flood of stress hormones breaks down collagen, increases inflammation, and impairs your body's ability to repair itself. It's not just about feeling tired. Your skin, your immune system, even your memory, everything takes a hit. But it's not only about sleep. True rest is bigger than that. It's about allowing your mind and body to recover in meaningful ways without guilt. And here's the thing, rest looks different for everyone. For some people, it's a full night's sleep. For others, it's quiet time alone, reading a book or taking a walk with no agenda. What matters is the intention behind it. People who age well don't just squeeze rest into the gaps. They prioritize it. They give themselves permission to pause, even when the world tells them to keep pushing. And there's something powerful about watching someone who knows their worth isn't tied to how much they produce. They're not rushing through life in survival mode. They're moving through it with a sense of ease and presence. That kind of intentional rest doesn't just recharge your energy, it preserves your vitality. And over time, it shows up in the brightness of your eyes, in the softness of your face, in the way you carry yourself, like someone who knows they are worthy of rest, exactly as they are. They live with a sense of purpose on their own terms. If there's one thing I've seen over and over, it's that the people who seem to defy their age aren't just coasting through life. They're anchored by something bigger than themselves. It doesn't have to be a grand mission or a perfectly laid out plan, but there's a sense of meaning in how they live. And that sense of purpose, it does more than just make life feel richer. It actually affects how your body ages. Science backs this up. Research shows that people who report having a clear sense of purpose tend to live longer, healthier lives. Their bodies produce fewer inflammatory markers, the kind that accelerate aging, and they are more likely to engage in habits that support long-term health. But beyond the biological effects, there's something else at play. Purpose gives you a reason to get up in the morning. It shapes the way you experience the world and how you move through it. And here's the thing, purpose isn't about chasing someone else's idea of success. The people who stay vibrant are the ones who define purpose on their own terms. It might be raising a family, volunteering in their community, or simply committing to be a source of kindness in a world that can feel harsh. It's not about the scale of the work, it's about the depth of the meaning. What's striking is that these people don't just find purpose, they cultivate it. They ask themselves what matters most to me, and they live in alignment with that answer. and you can feel it. There's a sense of groundedness and clarity in the way they carry themselves. It's like their energy isn't scattered, it's focused. And that kind of inner alignment, it doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how you show up. And it leaves a mark that time can't easily erase. Sixth, they let go of what they can't control. If you spend enough time with people who seem to age gracefully, there's a pattern you start to notice. They aren't wasting their energy fighting battles they can't win. They're not obsessing over things beyond their control. It's not that they don't care. It's that they've learned the cost of holding on too tightly and letting go. It's not just an emotional practice. It has real physical benefit. Here's why. Chronic stress that comes from trying to control everything doesn't just weigh on your mind, it wears down your body. Studies show that people who struggle with high levels of rumination, replaying situations, worrying about outcomes, experience faster biological aging. Their bodies stay in a constant state of fight or flight, which drains energy and accelerates cellular damage. But the people who age more slowly, they practice a different kind of mental habit. They know where to focus their energy and where to release it, and it's not always easy. Letting go requires trust. Trust that you can handle whatever comes next, even if you can't predict or control it. The people who seem to hold on to their lightness have learned to ask themselves a simple but powerful question. Is this mine to carry? If the answer is no, they release it, not because they don't care, but because they understand that their peace is worth protecting. And you can see the difference it makes. People who let go move through life with a certain ease. Their energy isn't tangled up in resentment or worry. There's a softness to them, not because they haven't faced hard things, but because they've learned not to hold on to what doesn't serve them. And that freedom, it doesn't just shape how they feel, it shows up in every part of who they are. Last but not least, they embrace imperfection and let themselves be real. If there's one thing that wears us down, inside and out, it's the relentless pressure to be perfect. And the people who seem to stay vibrant as they age, they aren't the ones chasing impossible standards. They're the ones who've made peace with being human. They allow themselves to be real. Flaws, wrinkles, messiness, and all. And that kind of self-acceptance changes everything. Here's what the research tells us. Perfectionism isn't just exhausting, it's harmful. It's linked to higher levels of anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. When you're constantly striving to be flawless, your nervous system stays on high alert. Your body produces more cortisol, which accelerates aging and weakens your immune system. But people who embrace imperfection, they experience less chronic stress and greater emotional resilience. They're not wasting energy hiding their struggles or performing for approval. And that freedom allows their minds and their bodies to stay healthier over time. And this isn't about giving up or lowering your standards. It's about recognizing that you are already enough. The people who seem to glow from the inside out aren't the ones who have it all together. They're the ones who are willing to show up fully without editing themselves. They laugh at their mistakes. They give themselves grace when things go sideways. And most importantly, they know that their worth isn't tied to how they look or how perfectly they perform. What's striking is how much lighter these people feel to be around. There's no pretense, no armor, just a quiet confidence that comes from accepting themselves exactly as they are. And over time, that kind of authenticity doesn't just soften the way they move through life, it shows up in the light they carry. And that light, it's what makes them timeless. The truth is, aging isn't just about what happens on the surface. It's a reflection of how we choose to live. The people who seem to hold on to their light, their energy, and their presence aren't following some magical formula. They're making intentional choices day after day that shape not just how they look, but how they experience life. They stay connected, they play, they rest without apology, they live with purpose, let go of what they can't control, and embrace imperfection with open arms. And the most powerful part, these aren't traits you're born with. They're practices you can choose. Because at the end of the day, looking younger isn't really the goal, feeling alive is. And when you start living in ways that nurture your spirit, your body can't help but reflect that back. So, here's the invitation. Start small. Choose one thing. Maybe it's carving out more space for joy. Maybe it's loosening your grip on the things you can't change. Whatever it is, trust that it matters, because every choice you make shapes the life you're building. And the best part, it's never too late to start. Good luck. You've got this.